Hello everyone, Venris here, and today we'll be talking about Norsca, but not the Norsca from Tides of Torment, the DLC that will be released next week from the publishing of this video. We'll be talking about an SFO Norsca, the things that we're probably gonna lose, the things that SFO Norsca had for the last years, and things that I'm very proud of and I just want to show, and let's say that this video will be like a memento of Norsca. We are on a Wolfric campaign, and first of all, let's look on his campaign effects. So, he has unique technologies focusing on Marauder units. He has the campaign movement range +1 per character rank for any lord, this is a full thing. 3 unit Marauder champions in every Wolfric battle, so Wolfric will be always summoning units in his battles. Bonus versus large for Marauders, infantry units, and unique units of Huskars. And Ulfendan's capacity is increased per major and minor settlements. Those units you can see here, they are Ulfendars and Huskars. They are like tier 3, 4, very strong infantry units for Norscans. This particular example, Wolfric. As we are here, we can look on the buildings because the buildings in SFO for Norsca are entirely different. I'm really curious how it will work with the vanilla changes that they do to the factions, because I'm proud of those changes, like a lot. So, first of all, the military recruitment in SFO is totally different. What does it mean? That all the Marauder human units are all on the main chains of buildings. So you don't need buildings for them anymore. You just need to buff your settlements. Upgrade your settlements. And by doing that, your armies will have Marauder units on their own. What about the monsters? The monsters are on their own chain that has 5 tiers, and also we have the second one is like for the bigger monsters, so trolls, giants, mammoths, and so on. So this is like a very easy system when you have only 2 buildings of recruitment. Why? Because Norsca is all about very low amount of settlements with more slots for the buildings, so we wanted to make that you use those stuff for different one. But as you can see, Norsca has a lot of buildings in SFO, and they use a bit different stuff. But we'll get it in a moment, because the biggest thing that Norsca has in SFO is plunder. I saw that there are spoils that looks exactly the same as our system. In the Tides of Torment, I'm really curious to compare the 2 systems. So plunder is a resource that you get from battles, buildings, characters, events, and raising settlements, and you use for buildings and technologies. And we're getting back to the buildings right now because we spoke about the buildings increased amount that Norsca has. And you have something like military support. There are buildings in the middle, and those buildings use the new resource that is called plunder, and the cost of those always increase when you're doing so. More buildings you do that cost plunder, the more the next one will cost. But important thing is that those have a unique capacity if you're using faction-wide capacity, and buff units from those chains. So, for example, Marauder Cavalry are being here, Marauder Infantry, we have the Skin Wolves, Norscan Warhounds, Wolves and Femurs. Here we have the Trolls, Mammoth, Giants, Manticores, and so on and so on. So those have a faction-wide effects, use the new resource, and so on. But also we have other stuff that are more powerful for the region, like the Furnace. Furnace is like a smith. So you know, Arena, very powerful, both buffing your unit experience and lowering the upkeep for the whole province, or the Stone Monolith that have very powerful effects, faction-wide, and helps the overall faction. What other stuff we have? We also have the normal buildings, we have the army abilities, like every faction in SFO has army abilities on their garrisons. We have the building for the public order. Yes, public order. Control. I always forget that they changed it in Warhammer 3. But here we also have a legendary unit that blessed Marauder champions. We have the offering buildings that is all about the situational upkeep. So more like a post-battle loot and from buildings, because Norsca doesn't have a lot of income from buildings. They are mostly about raiding in SFO. Other stuff, you get the plunder from here and the growth. And also we have a slave camp that is just about normal income. And that's all for the buildings. We also have the outpost buildings, but they are not changed much. They have some smaller versions of those buildings, more or less, as I said. And we have those military chains that I spoke about. As for the Wolfric itself, of course, there are a lot of changes to the skills. He is a bit stronger and getting a lot of cool stuff. Other things that we have for Norsca that are like a quality of life changes is that all of the god stuff on top have way stronger effect than they are in vanilla, and also plunder capacity is being increased because, you know, when you're doing stuff, more and more buildings you build, the more plunder you will need to make those faction-wide stuff and use them, of course, for other means. And you will be able to increase the plunder capacity by just increasing the gods. Other stuff that I really love in SFO is that the monster books of Arcanum is that you don't have the missions at all. So moment that I would unlock it, normally you just click OK and you get a mission. That's it. You don't have this boring chain of missions that you need from technology. Yes, you still need the technology to do, like here. There are tabs in technology, by the way, but overall you're fine. You just click and you have the missions. That's it. Also, you're getting way more favor from actions like the monster hunting for raising settlements and other stuff that you can do in SFO. But other stuff that I'm really happy about Norsca that we did ages ago is lords, because we have the two generic lords that is called Marauder Pathfinder. Marauder Pathfinder is like a hunter, so Marauder Chieftain is more like a melee focus. Marauder Pathfinder is way more focused on range, enemy debuffs, and things like that. Fimir Megar is a mage, powerful mage melee caster that I think will be also fitting when the Norsca will be reworked by Creative Assembly. Let's go with the Pathfinder. Pathfinder has some very interesting stuff like the buffs for Marauder Hunters, increasing their ammunition, range, speed, and so on. He has own ability that is Hunt His Own, very powerful single entity ability. We have ambush increases, and so on. This is like a, as I said, Marauder Champion is more, Chieftain is more like melee focused. He's like a range, and also I think he looks quite cool. What other stuff we have here? We have some units, because Norsca is getting some units for SFO, and they are Fimir Stalkers, so they are like a lesser version of Fimir that more like work like an infantry, which I really like. We saw those legendary units, and I don't think we have any other units that were added. Sorry, there are Norsca Whalers, so they are high-end huntsmen that attack on range. So a lot of small changes here and there you see for the Norsca as a faction that I'm very proud of. Let's go further and let's go with the technologies, because there are two types of technologies in SFO. First of all, let's look on the plunder. Plunder uses plunder, of course, and is a combination of the old technologies that we had in vanilla. So this is like a vanilla technology. There are a lot of small changes here and there, effects and so on and so on, so I won't go much around it. But the Wartools and the Monster Hunters, those are the old ones from vanilla, as you remember. Again, they are buffed, they are way more strong, more interesting, but those ones like Brawling Pits and Formidable Chieftain, those are Wolfric specific only, and the same thing goes for the Frog. Frog also have those tab technologies only for him, which I'm very proud of. I hope that we will be able to incorporate some of those also to the Norsca rework that is coming. There are other small stuff that I want to show you, but we need to skip a turn to see those. Okay, so we have a new event for Norsca that is occurring every 30 turns. It's called the Slave Trading. Means that we can take the missions to slave to get the slave, because the Norscans are slavers. They say sell slaves in lore, and this is not reflected anywhere in the game. So we decided to make that you can do those specific missions, and you need to pick. Do you want to trade with Dark Elves, Skaven Beastmen, Ogre Kingdoms, Vampire Coast, Warriors of Chaos on Norsca, Demons of Chaos, or Chaos Dwarves? And each of those has a 5-turn strong buff. For example, if we take the Chaos Dwarves, it will give us a mission. So we are getting like a introduction. Okay, nice, you get a bonus for 5 turns, but if you want to increase it to 10 turns, you need to complete a mission in 25 turns, and you need to capture 2000 battle captives, and you will get a lot of plunder, you get an item, and as I said, increase of this very powerful effect. Let's go and make a battle and raise a settlement, because I want to show you how we increased the stuff in terms of the gods. So here very important stuff is that you are getting way less negative from the other gods that is right now in Valorant before the DLC. You're getting way more for a specific god, but also you're getting a faction-wide bonus, and the bonus that is for the specific Lord army. So for example, the Hound, so with Scorn, you're getting the Chaos and Divide, the Corruption, lock on province, that's normal. You're getting army-wide, faction-wide weapon strength increase, and plunder generated per turn. Here we have a growth, here we have a upkeep reduction, and here we have a control. Let's do with the Hound. And as you can see, we have this nice gift of the Hound. Important thing is that also, that I like since we did Warhammer 1, is that when you're in the raiding stance or in the raiding camp playing as Norsca, you're getting a control, faction-wide control, yes. So more raiders you have, it's easier for you to sustain your faction overall, so there won't be that much problem with the control in your provinces. We also have a new stance that is called Rampage for all the Norscans. Experience gain is increased. All of your units can go into the Rampage, so got a Feral Rage passive ability, but they are all having a perfect vigor. So you have an army that you don't have much of a control over it, but it's all way stronger, and you're getting more experience from specific battle. There are no other bigger changes in terms of stances. The raiding camp is working exactly same as the normal raiding, so also gives the other cool bonuses to the faction. And yes, I think this would be all for the Norsca. The Throg has similar things, but he's focusing more on the different units. He has trolls, so he has ice trolls. He has the bile troll, all different units and different technologies, different faction-wide effects. Overall, I'm very proud of SFO Norsca. It was working for years right now, since we did the rework to the faction, but it's time to adjust to the new changes that Creative Assembly is doing, and I hope some of those things that I just showed you won't be lost, and we'll be able to enjoy them in the coming days, weeks, months, years to come for Total War Warhammer 3. So, a lot of work coming to SFO. And just a reminder, mod will be dead on the 4th of December, because this will break everything in the mod, but we'll be working tirelessly to fix all of this. So, yes, if you like the content, guys, please don't forget about subscribing to our channel like this, but also SFO Patreon. Your support is helping to make this mod every day, because there is more and more work with every DLC. And I bid you a very warm day, because the winter is coming and Norsca is getting an update soon from Creative Assembly. I was Venris, and I'm out. Have a nice day.